Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. From Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 4, Text number 9. Yesham khalu mahayogi bharato Jeshtaha Shreshta Guna Asid Yenedam Varsham Bharatam Iti Vyapadishanti. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Of Rishabhadeva's 100 sons, the eldest named Bharata was a great exalted devotee, qualified with the best attributes. In his honor, this planet has become known as Bharatavarsha. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This planet known as Bharatavarsha is also called Punya Bhumi, the pious land. At the present moment, Bharata Bhumi or Bharatavarsha is a small piece of land extending from the Himalaya mountains to Cape Comorin. Sometimes this peninsula is called Punya Bhumi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given special importance to the people of this land. Bharata Bhumi te hoila manushya janmayar, janmasarthaka kari karo paropakar. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharatvarsha, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. The inhabitants of this piece of land are very fortunate. They can purify their existence by accepting this Krishna consciousness movement and go outside Bharatvar Bhumi, India, and preach this cult to benefit the whole world. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta. So we are reading in this chapter called The Characteristics of Rishabhadeva. We read about Rishabhadeva in the last verse and how he went to Gurukula and then learnt, gave Guru Dakshina, learnt many things from his spiritual masters, and then on the order of the Guru, he accepted Jayanti as his wife, who was given by Indra, and begot 100 sons. And all of them were very qualified. So continuing that, in today's verse, Esham khalu mahayogi bharato jeshtaha shreshta guna asit. Among them, Esham khalu mahayogi bharato jeshtaha, the first person, first son. Among whom? Among the 100 sons. Esham khalu mahayogi bharato jeshtaha shreshta guna asit. And he was jeshtaha, the first, the eldest son. And shreshta guna asit, and he possessed all wonderful shreshta guna, wonderful qualities. And he was, most importantly, Mahayogi. He was a highly exalted devotee of the Lord, a great spiritualist. And Yena idam varsham, this planet, Yena, by whom, Yena idam varsham, Bharatam iti vyapadishanti. Because Jeshta Putra Bharata was ruling this planet, This planet has come to be known, celebrated as Bharata, Bharatvarsha. Of Rishabhadeva's 100 sons, Esham, the eldest, Jeshtaha, named Bharata. Esham Khalu Mahayogi. Bharato Jeshtaha was a great exalted devotee, Mahayogi, qualified with the best attributes, Shreshta Guna Asit. In his honor, Ena Idam, this planet, Idam Varsham, has become known as Bharata Varsha. Bharatam iti vyapadishanti. So Prabhupada has explained in the purport that among all the different parts of the world, this part of the world is known as Punya Bhumi, Bharata Varsha. From south of Himalayas up to Kanyakumari, Cape Comorin. There are many holy rivers, many great forests. So the civilization that grew here, and the climate was very good. Unlike other parts of the world, extreme cold, minus 10 degrees centigrade. You can't live. How can you live there? You have to have heaters, so not easy to live naturally. Or very, very hot in deserts. Whereas in India, there were many holy rivers and relatively good climate. So people could live very easily. And hence, because there were many rivers, it became an agrarian civilization. It was easy to organize a society. There was possibility of division of labor because there were many people. In other parts, the population was also very less. And so, because labor and society could be organized, there was more opportunity for development of many other features, other talents of a human being. If you are constantly struggling for food and keeping yourself safe, and you don't have an organized society, then you cannot have many other aspects of human's life, development of many other aspects of human life. And climate is very constantly challenging and disturbing. So in India, in this part of the planet, things were very favorable. And that's why even to this day, one can lead a spiritual life very easily in our country. Just some people just leave their homes and become sadhus. Hundreds and thousands and lakhs of sadhus are there in our country. And the society takes care of them, maintains them. And very simply they can live. And as a result, many great sages appeared here. Many great incarnations appeared here. And so spiritual knowledge, an opportunity for understanding spiritual knowledge was the best here. And hence the Lord appeared here. Lord sent great acharyas so that they can explain. Here there was an audience who were ready to hear these things. Like say for instance, a Nobel laureate from America comes to India. He comes to Bangalore. He's a professor in physics, very advanced physics. Where should we take him in Bangalore? Suppose we take him to City Market. A lot of sabji vendors are there and flower vendors are there. And take him, please tell something, talk here. And then he'll look and then he'll wonder, what can I tell him? So he should be taken to a place where his subject is there's somebody who can appreciate. You bring him to Indian Institute of Science. There are many scientists, many students, many professors. Will be happy to hear. And he can explain also many advanced topics that he knows. So in the same way, these great acharyas, they appeared here, and here it was a very favorable environment. They were receptive people who had organized themselves, they had organized their life. And so they could tell about more advanced topics. Just like if you see the Bible, the commandments, one of the commandments that Jesus says, thou shalt not covet your neighbor's wife. So that means he has to tell them because they were doing that. Don't go around mess with your neighbor's wife. This is not right. Thou shalt not kill. That means they were killing. These had to be the commandments. This has to be the basic thing. You see, that was the kind of a civilization. And so how much can he say? That's why the famous statement of one of the, not famous, at least a difficult statement Jesus makes, that I have more things to tell you, but you are not ready. Contrasting that is the verse in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says to Arjuna, Gnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshamya sheshataha yagnatva bhuyonyat gnathavyam avashishyate. Now I'll explain to you, Arjuna, the complete knowledge, knowing which there shall remain nothing else to be known. See, just contrast these two statements from the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna explained to Arjuna the complete knowledge, knowing which there's nothing else to be known. This is the complete knowledge. So, this kind of a development of knowledge and the practice and development of consciousness, understanding the highest realities of life, was possible in this Punya Bhumi. So very special. Prabhupada has written here, the inhabitants of this piece of land are very fortunate. To be born as a human being is very rare. So many species of life are there, so many millions and trillions of living entities are there. We could be anywhere. And as human being, we could be born anywhere. And to be born in Bharatvarsha, very fortunate, very special. But if we are born in India but don't take advantage of this, just lead a materialistic life, then we have missed out something very special. The story that Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur used to say. There was a man, he was living just by the train station. So very close. And so when he had to go to take the train, he would think, hey, just let me wait. When I hear the honking of the train, then I'll just take everything and go. And one day the train came silently without honking. And he was waiting, and the train went away. He missed. So sometimes people are very close to the train station are likely to miss the train. Somebody who are far away, they take extra, planning, and they come and wait in the platform, get the train. So that should not happen to us. This is the message that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was saying. Just because we are born in India, this knowledge is available, and we should not become, because of over familiarity, we should not think that, this is there. And don't take it seriously. That's what has happened to a large number of people in our country. So Chaitanya Prabhupada has quoted this verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, famous verse. Bharata bhumite hoile manushya janmayar. Janma sarthaka kari karo paropaka. Whoever is born in India, this is a special responsibility of those who are born in India. First, janma sarthaka kari. Janma sarthaka, sa-arthaka. Sarthaka means meaningful, purposeful. What is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of taking birth? Why are we born? That we should know and carry out that purpose. That is sarthaka, janma sarthaka kare. It's a very serious thing. We must know the purpose of our birth, purpose of this existence, purpose of creation. And align ourselves with that and successfully carry out and achieve that purpose. That is sarthaka. Janma sarthaka kari means, Prabhupada always translates, Janma sarthaka kari means become pure devotee. Without mincing words. Janma sarthaka is not that I become a rich man, I'll have big bungalow, big facilities. That is not Janma sarthaka. For a materialist, that is Janma sarthaka. But from the point of view of spiritual knowledge, highest knowledge, just like what is Janma sarthaka for a, what is the purpose, meaningful life for a prisoner? He has become transformed and the prison authorities are convinced. They'll open the gates and let him free. Then his janma sarthaka. In the same way we are in this prison. And if we become qualified, if we have corrected our consciousness, transformed our consciousness, and we are fit to get out of the material world, out of the cycle of birth, that is janma sarthaka. Janma sarthaka kari karo paropakar. And help others. Para-upakar. What is the upakar for them? Similarly, release them also from the cycle of birth and death. It's a very wonderful instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he captures this beautiful mission of entire creation and what he wants people who are born in Bharata Bhumi to do this. And so Srila Prabhupada took this instruction very seriously. Our recent acharyas, just before Srila Prabhupada, all of them were preparing for this moment. This knowledge should be taken all over the world. So, and of all the Vedic literatures, the Gita and the Bhagavatam are very, very special. There is one verse in the Bhagavatam. Idam Bhagavatam nama Puranam Brahma Sammitam. This Bhagavatam nama Purana, this Purana known as Idam Bhagavatam nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam. It is Brahma Sammitam. Sammitam means of the same stature. It is of the same class. Sammitam. This is not Samhita, not Brahma Samhita. Samhita is a compilation. That's Lord Brahma's compilation. This is Brahma Sammitam. It's on the same status. It is from the same status as Brahman. Absolute truth. That's why Prabhupada translates this expression, Brahma Sammitam, as the literary incarnation of Krishna. This Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Krishna. Very beautiful expression, way of translating. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam. And this describes the activities of Uttama Shloka. The Lord is described by chosen poetry. Uttama Shloka. Shloka means glorification. Uttama means finest. The Lord is His exalted position. And so, according to His exalted position, His glorification should also be on that level. Not some cheap thing. So that's the intent. Uttama Shloka Charitam. Chakara Bhagavan Rishihi. And who created this? Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam, which is Uttama Shloka Charitam. Bhagavan Rishihi. Vedavyasa, who wrote, he is fully spiritually powerful. Also, he is the incarnation of Krishna for the purpose of writing. So Krishna's incarnation in the form of a sage, creating a book which is on par with Krishna and hence is a literary incarnation of the Lord. See this Bhagavatam, how it is? The author is an incarnation of the Lord. The creation is an incarnation of the Lord. And it is describing the Lord. Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishihi. Nishreyasaya Lokasya. What is the purpose of this creation, of this literary creation? Nishreyasaya Lokasya. Lokasya, of this world. To provide them Nishreyasa. Nishreyasa means this is the highest Shreyas. There's nothing higher than this. This is the final word. This is the summit. This is the best this is the ultimate good. That's how Prabhupada translates. Nishreyasaya Lokasya. This is the ultimate good for our living entities. There's nothing better than this. This is the highest that the living entities can aspire. So it takes the living entity to the highest level of spiritual consciousness. There's nothing higher than that. Nishreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swastyayanam Mahat. Dhanyam, it bestows all blessings. Swastyayanam. Swasti means auspicious. Swasti Vachana, we say. Right? Chants of auspiciousness. This brings about Swastyayanam and Mahat and great and perfect. All blissful, all auspicious, all perfect. This is Bhagavatam. And now if you see in these verses, this Bhagavatam and is describing all generation after generation of kings. Maharaj Nabi, then Rishabhadeva, then his Jeshta Putra, Bharata. It's all describing. So the kings were familiar with this Nishreyasaya Lokasya Jnana. They were familiar with this. They were trained in this. It's not that just a few sages in the forest or in the Himalayas or in some temples, they were practicing this. No. The rulers of the society, kings were familiar with this and they were practicing this. And because they were practicing, they were familiar, they knew what is Nishreyasaya Lokasya. What is the highest benefit? They made their administration, they made their governance, they made their policies, everything keeping this in mind for everyone. See? Keeping the highest welfare of everyone, they would make these, they would rule this kingdom. So this is the intent. And Prabhupada, there are many places Prabhupada talked about this verse, Janma sartaka kare karo paropakar. In one purport, in the 4th canto of the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada explains this particular verse, and he says that unfortunately in India, we have forgotten this great knowledge. And we were also ruled by foreigners for 200 years. As a result, that crippled a lot of things in our country. And hence we have become poverty-stricken. So not proper facilities are not available. So we have become crippled, we have become lame. Although we are lame, we have the spiritual knowledge here. And in the rest of the world, they have all material, nice facilities, but they are blind. They don't know the purpose of life. They have created nice modern societies, all conveniences for good living, happy living, pleasant, make all arrangements. But they don't know the purpose of life. They are blind. And hence, Prabhupada says that so if the blind person and the lame person join together, if the blind person carries the lame person on his shoulder, Anda Pangu Nyaya, it's a saying in Sanskrit literature, Anda Pangu Nyaya. Anda means somebody who is blind, Pangu means one who is lame. If the two of them join together, it's a very, very wonderful thing. A blind man on his own, he'll make a mess of his life. A lame man, he cannot move around. He's also crippled in so many ways. If the two join together, then they can go here, there, and have a very good life. So Prabhupada says, so this is the expectation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. People who are born in Bharata, who can cultivate Janma Sartaka Kari and go all over the world. This is the spirit of Prabhupada's teachings. This Prabhupada appeared for that, according to Krishna's larger plan. Who should do this? My mission, who should take this? Krishna plans all that. And he planned all the other acharyas before him who prepared the ground for this. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then the 6 Goswamis, developing all this philosophy and then presenting that in a more contemporary way. Bhaktivedanta Thakur clearing up all the confusion. So many apasampradayas had come about without properly understanding the original message. So, we see that the knowledge, first of all, Prabhupada informs us, teaches us from the Gita, from the Vedic literature, that this knowledge has to come in the parampara. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur points out, this is the parampara which has correctly understood the original message. Everyone else has somewhere here, there deviated. The full spirit they did not understand, full meaning they didn't understand the import of it. They didn't have that full spiritual potency flowing down in this parampara. These are all very special, extraordinary happening. And how we all got into that. Kono bhagyavan jeev. So, this is how things have. And so Srila Prabhupada, when he presented Krishna consciousness, This is how he had that strong confidence. There was some good writer. He was talking to me a few days back and he was reading Prabhupada's biography and different parts. And then I was sharing him with some parts of it. Saying, this Prabhupada, so convinced about Krishna, is completely Krishna. This is the final word. This is amazing. There is one very nice conversation. I'll just share that. This happened in 1971. 1971, I was reflecting. Where was I in 1971? I was in third or fourth standard. I remember the school I was studying. Because something that Prabhupada talks about, I remember I could relate that. I'll read that. When Prabhupada arrived at the home of Mr. Ram Nivas Dandaria, he was the mayor of New Delhi. There was one reporter already waiting for him. And a waiting reporter interviewed him. Actually, you should read this original. We must read the original interview because here and there it says Hindi because it's happening in Delhi. And Prabhupada is also talking some things in Hindi. And the reporter is also talking. We should hear the full thing. Very, very interesting. It's a long conversation. I'll read only a part of it. I understand, said the report, that by Krishna you mean some eternal principle. You see, this is how Krishna means some eternal principle. I do not mean a principle, Prabhupada replied. I mean a person like you and me. See how Krishna, Prabhupada's presentation. Krishna is a person, not some eternal, spiritual, one principle, some concept. He is a person. This is the revelation of the Bhagavatam. That absolute truth is sentient, thou hast proved. Impersonal calamity, thou hast removed. That was Prabhupada's poetry about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Sentient means person. That absolute truth is sentient, is a living person. You have proved. Impersonal calamity, lack of understanding this is a calamity in the society. You have removed, you have saved the human society. Beautiful poetry of Prabhupada. So, I do not mean a principle, Prabhupada replied. I mean a person like you and me. Prabhupada was explaining Lord Krishna as the Supreme Person when suddenly sirens began sounding. 1971, India-Pakistan war. That's why when I read that one, I remember when I was in third standard or fourth standard, I remember in BEL school. We all children we used, because we were in BEL colony, that was a defense establishment. So it was the news, what we were told was that, and we were living next to the factory, the colony. So we were told, I remember my parents had pasted brown paper to the windows. And in the night, a siren will be sounded and we must turn off all lights and stay indoor. Because in case there is an attack, Pakistani aircrafts can come and they'll be looking for lit up establishment. Maybe, those days there was no GPS and those kind of things, right? 1971. So I don't know if there are infrared and such things were there. So they had to look out and then, here is BEL, drop bomb. That was a fear because it's a defense establishment. So that was a fear. So we were told, and I remember this. And there were drills, there were rehearsals for that. They'll suddenly sound the siren. Everybody rushes in, turns off the lights, and stays indoor. And then again, after some time, the siren sound, and then you can come out. Just preparing people. So similar thing happening in Delhi, because Delhi is the capital of our country. And so Prabhupada was talking to this reporter, and the siren goes off. And let's see how Prabhupada talks. The reporter brings up this talk. Blackout, blackout. That was called blackout. So blackout, blackout, cried the reporters and others in the house. The people in the house. Prabhupada was visiting and staying there. War between Pakistan and India had been imminent for weeks. And air raid drills and warnings were now commonplace in Delhi. Sir, this reporter was very respectful to Srila Prabhupada. He's always saying, sir, like that throughout the conversation. Sir, the reporter spoke tensely in the darkened room. This is the present reality. We are being threatened by this fight with Pakistan. The siren is the ugly reality coming for us. Naturally, right? That's the tense situation. Situation was tense in India. Prabhupada's response: we are always in the ugly reality. 24 hours a day. Not just because of the siren. 24 hours a day. Suppose there is no blackout. Still, if you go in the street, there is no guarantee that you will get home. In this way, you are always in the ugly reality. See how Prabhupada is presenting the transcendental perspective. It's a fact. This is an ugly reality. Always some trouble, something or the other is happening. First wave, second wave, third variant. We are seeing all this, right? What else will come? No one knows. This is ugly reality. What are we thinking? Oh, wonderful, world is so nice. We have dressed it up very nicely. So this is Prabhupada's perspective. Ugly reality. Why do you say only this blackout? This is just one feature of the ugly reality. That's all. Reporter: yes, but at the moment, Prabhupada again cuts him off. You do not realize that you are in ugly reality 24 hours a day. Padam padam yat vipadam. There is danger at every step. Reporter: I know, sir, but this is collective national danger. Have you anything to offer to us as a remedy? Prabhupada: Krishna consciousness is our only remedy. Take to this process and you will be happy. See the confidence of Prabhupada. For everything, Krishna consciousness is the only remedy. Because that is nishreyasaya lokasya. Dhanyam swastyayanam mahat. This is the reality. This is the best. This is the remedy for everything. Krishna consciousness is our only remedy. Take to this process and you will be happy. Reporter: sir, I think someone should go to Yahya Khan and tell him. Yahya Khan was the president of Pakistan. So the reporter is saying somebody should go to Yahya Khan. Prabhupada: what benefit will you derive by going to Yahya Khan? Reporter: someone is out to kill me, sir. Prabhupada: but suppose Yahya Khan does not kill you, will you be safe? Then what is the use of going to Yahya Khan? You will die today or tomorrow. If you want to save yourself, then go to Krishna. That is our proposition. Even if you go to Yahya Khan and he does not fight, then you mean to say you will live forever? What is the use of flattering Yahya Khan? Flatter Krishna so that you may be saved perpetually. Why don't you do that? You see how Srila Prabhupada presents this. So all these political adjustments, these things come and go. Reporter: I was only thinking in terms of collective security, sir. I can see your point. Prabhupada: you should know that you are always in danger. Reporter: yes, sir, we agree. That great Einstein said the same thing. Prabhupada: that is our position. And Krishna says, I will save you. Therefore, let us go to Krishna. Why go to Yahya Khan? Reporter: simply because he is disturbing us, that's all. Prabhupada: your mind is always disturbing you. All the time. Because it is always with you. Your body is always with you. Are you not suffering from bodily pains? You are always in danger. Why don't you realize that? Reporter, we realize that this is a national disaster. Prabhupada, these are symptoms. People are trying to give a patchwork cure for the disease. We are giving the supreme cure. Nishreyasaya lokasya. This is the supreme cure. All that people are giving, these are all patchwork cure. This is the difference. No patchwork cure will help you. You need a complete cure. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. The cure is no more repetition of birth and death. That is what we want. That is the benefit of Krishna consciousness. Yam prapya na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. If you go to Krishna, then you don't come back again to this material world. See the confidence with which Prabhupada is presenting Krishna consciousness. In every facet of human life, Prabhupada always presented, this is the solution. Very special. That confidence in Prabhupada exuded. Sir, reporter again. Sir, mine was a very hypothetical question. Suppose 100 pure, saintly, Krishna conscious people are meditating or discussing together and someone comes along and drops the bomb. So, reporter is saying, what happens if devotees are, you're saying devotee and all that. If atom bomb falls on them, what happens? Prabhupada, those who are Krishna conscious are not afraid of bomb. When they see a bomb coming, they think that Krishna desired the bomb to come. A Krishna conscious person is never afraid of anything. Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshatah syat. One who has the conception that something can exist outside of Krishna is afraid. Nothing is outside of Krishna. One who is convinced about that, he is no fear. If somebody thinks that there is other than Krishna, there is somebody controlling. Oh, he can drop the bomb. We are talking about Krishna. This is not outside of Krishna's control. He is going to drop. No, there is nothing outside Krishna. One who has the conception that something can exist outside of Krishna is afraid. On the other hand, one who knows that everything is coming from Krishna has no reason to be afraid. The bomb is coming. He says, Krishna is coming. That is the vision of a devotee. He thinks, Krishna wants to kill me with a bomb. That is all right. I will be killed. That is Krishna consciousness. If some disease or something or some calamity or something comes, we should not be disturbed. Okay, Krishna has decided. That's how it is. It's not out of Krishna's control. Krishna knows me, my situation. And Krishna has said, all right, let this disease, let this difficulty, let this problem, let this bomb come. So Krishna has sent. Oh, Krishna has sent. It's okay. You see, that is Krishna consciousness. He thinks, Krishna wants to kill me with a bomb. That's all right. Krishna is my protector. He is my well-wisher. He is doing everything for my good. Okay, good for me. I'll accept happily. See how we can become fearless in any situation in this world if we develop this consciousness. That is Krishna consciousness. When the reporter asked if the Vaishnava would die without fighting, Prabhupada said the Vaishnava would fight, but only under the direction of Krishna. And he cited the example of Arjuna and Hanuman. Prabhupada says that in the conversation. There were two big wars as far as human history is concerned. One was between Ravana and Ram. Another was Kurukshetra war. And in both the wars, the devotees were in. Hanuman was there, Arjuna was there. They fought, but when they were ordered by Krishna. He continued to explain Krishna consciousness as the only solution, and the blackout ended. So I recommend all of you to read this in the Veda base. full conversation. And if you can hear the English, Hindi, everything. It's a long, so many nice concepts Prabhupada talks about in this lecture, in this conversation. Actually, when we read those conversations, we should absorb ourselves. You will feel transported to Prabhupada's room, and with the reporter, you are also sitting and hearing. It's wonderful. And some of the nice concepts of Prabhupada. Very spontaneous. Prabhupada was naturally Krishna conscious. And that's why he explained some of the concepts from the Bhagavad Gita very naturally. Very special Acharya, specially sent by Krishna. And his spirit is that this Krishna consciousness should benefit the whole world. Prabhupada said, history must record that the Krishna consciousness movement has saved the human society. This is the aspiration of Prabhupada. Human history must record that the Krishna consciousness movement saved human society. It was going off somewhere. That was the ambition of Prabhupada. That's the potential that this Krishna consciousness, these books, this knowledge has. And that's what we see here. Rishabhadeva, Bharata, Nabhi, they all ruled the kingdom by this principle. So we'll stop here. Grantharaj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.